Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of my journey to greatness with Talenta. Please do enjoy.
I was actually reading an article written by this lady that I follow on Instagram about how Tutuka changed her life and all that. So she's also a chartered accountant. So I want to speak to you about Tutuka. Like, what is that? How do you get into it?
Tutuka also changed my life. I don't think I would be where I am if it wasn't for Tutuka. So Tutuka is like it's a black program. So it's for black, strictly for black people. So I think back in the day, I think now there's a lot of CAs, but back in the day there wasn't a lot of black CAs. So what happened is the Tutuka program was then started. So this was now to help black students who are aspiring to be CAs. So what the program does is they have like a full support. So they pay for your for some of your accommodate, like they pay for some of your fees. I think some is sponsored by NSFAS. Yeah, it is NSFAS, and then also the Tutuka program. And then they pay for your accommodation. They also pay for back in the day, I don't know if it still applies, but back in our days we even got like an allowance. And then also what they do as well is they do have like tutoring classes specifically for the Tutuka students. So as you know, like when you're in class, there's a lot of you. There's about how many were we back then? Maybe like 400 or something, but it was a lot of people. So it's not easy for you to ask questions and all of that. So what the Tutuka program helps with is there is like tutoring classes, mentoring classes. So you have that small group where you feel like you're in a safe environment to ask questions. So they're very supportive in that if you have issues or anything, there is like a Tutuka program manager who's there to support you. So it's like you feel like you have a mom in varsity. Yeah, so we had a nice lady called Sonette. She was like our mom. So if you have any issues, like if you're failing or you have personal issues, you could like go there. So there was that structure of there is support. If it wasn't for the program, honestly, I don't think I would be where I am. So there is that, and there is that culture of discipline in Tutuka. They usually what they used to do with us is they'd bring people who are actually qualified CAs, who are recently qualified CAs. So you'd be able to see, okay, this is where I'm actually heading to. This person, this person was also in my position. They were a Tutuka student, and like it would actually drive you and push you to study more and be committed to your goal. So definitely got changed. It definitely changed my life. To apply, there is a Tutuka website that you can apply at. So I know a lot of people they join when they are still in so they will apply when you're still in matric, and then you're able to join. But the nice thing is you are able to join so you can join in your second year, in your third year as well.
Okay.
So it's not like strictly that you have to join at the beginning of the program. Because what happens, another thing with the Tutuka program that actually motivates you is you need to pass. If you fail, they cut you out. So you will try push to make sure that you don't lose out on this opportunity.
Oh, that's beautiful. So like, when did you get in yourself?
So I joined in when I was in matric. So what happened is when I applied at the University of Pretoria, they actually said you've been accepted. We think you will qualify. You can qualify to be part of the Tutuka program. So that's how I knew about the Tutuka program. So, but you can apply directly to them. You don't need to like wait to be in a situation like me where someone after I applied, someone was like, yeah, we can apply for Tutuka.
So do they take everyone that applies, or are they like requirements?
I actually don't remember the requirements, honestly, but they do look at your marks. Definitely, they do look at your marks to if you are actually passing very well in high school. They also look at your parents' income and all of that. So they do look, are you disadvantaged in a way that you don't just take anyone? So they also look at that are you privileged? If you're not, they do take you.
Oh, okay, awesome. So guys, just make sure that you study hard. I think like she has said that it has changed her life. Like it's very, I think in varsity,
Yes.
that's one thing that we lack. You know, at home there are parents that will be watching you.
Yeah.
So in varsity to have something like that, that is a blessing. You know, someone to actually
Yeah.
confide in. This is what I'm struggling with.
Yeah.
These are the challenges, or even like personal problems that you have. You know, like
Problems.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's
Yeah, like that support system is very helpful.
now I want to put you on the spot. Like, do you do you like help other people, like other young people that are like trying to come up, like become chartered accountants?
Yeah, so I have three students now who are in. So one is she's a first year. I have one that is a third year, and the other one is a second year. So I do try help. So what I've done with them is I'm like a support system in a way. So I think I could do more actually, but I feel like the little that I'm doing, I think makes a difference. So when they have any questions, I do assist them. Like the one that started, I think I started talking to her in, I think it was in Jan. Yeah. So no, it was actually December because she hadn't received her results. Yeah. So we started talking in Jan. It was more like I see your pictures in the US. What are you doing there? I also want to be a chartered accountant. Where did you study and all of that? So that one actually helped her even making the decision to which varsity should she go to. So she was a bit confused of she's applied, she's gotten 3 offers. One doesn't have a Tutuka program, one does. I was like, girl, go for the one that has the Tutuka program. So I do help in a way of I'm a support structure to them. So I do check up on them, how's school, how is varsity going, are you passing it, are you having any issues and all of that. But I think I could do more.
I think what is enough. Like, even though you could do more, depending on when you have the time, because I know chartered accountants, you guys never have time.
Oh, there's no time. There is no time. But honestly speaking, compared to when I was in articles and now, I do have more time. But back then, when I was doing articles, there was no time, but we'll get on that. But hey, there was no time.
Okay, so now you go. You are in UP. You're part of Tutuka, which is very beautiful, and then you are passing a student Talenta Tsongayinwe. You know, I even talked to my mom about you. My little sister is doing accounting, so every time we talk about my little sister, Talenta is going to come in. So now I want you to tell me about like graduating from UP and then transitioning to do your articles and applying and stuff like that.
So I'm just gonna give a bit of background to those who do not know how like the CA like stream works. So you're gonna do your 3 years of undergrad, you get a Bcom Accounting Sciences degree, and then from there you have to do your honors in Bcom Accounting, which is some people call it CTA. So for me, my undergrad, I did well. I wanted to cum my degree, but I missed out on 2 points. I'm still hurt about it.
You wanted to what?
I wanted to cum my degree. I wanted to get a cum laude.
Wow.
I did not. I missed on two points, but it's okay. It's fine. So so I think undergrad was not bad. The year that I can say was a lot, which a lot of people who do CTA also say it's like it's one of those years that if you're not careful, you can even drop out. That's how bad it is. It will challenge you in a lot of ways. So for me, it was there was a time I was sick as well during CTA, and then I lost my best friend from varsity. So it was a tough year. And when he passed away, we're about to write our we're about to write our last exams, but not like the last exam, but like the last part of our exams. So he committed suicide during that time. It was a very sad time, honestly, because one thing I felt was I felt like I was not there for him. We could have avoided the situation if I was there. And I felt like I was caught up in studies that I didn't have time for him in a way. Yeah. So we're doing the same course. Yeah. So out of all our friends, me and him are the ones who had graduated, that gotten the Bcom Accounting Sciences degree. So we were very, very tight. We had been friends since my first year. So it was a tough time. Just imagine you lose your friend, and you lose your friend from committing suicide. It's not this. Well, death is death, but when someone commits suicide, it hits you differently because you're like, I could have done something, I could have stopped them or something like that. So we lost him, and then I think we're writing exams the next week. So it was a tough time. And then also what happened was there was fees must fall at that point. So there was like there was just a lot of things that were happening. We're not even able to go right at the school premises. We had to write in other locations. So it was just a lot of things that happened that year. But I'm glad that I was able to survive that. Then so after that, I then applied for the Green Dot only again. So what happened was, as a trainee, so when you're doing your studies, what you can do is, why did that word escape me? But anyway, what you can do is when you're still a student, you can apply to go do work for like the big 4 firms. I don't know if the other firms do it, but I've seen I've done with the three out of the 4 audit firms. So what they do, it's more like they introduce you to the firm, they sell the firm to you in a way. So when I did that, I fell in love with the company that I'm working for, and I was like, this is where I see myself. So the nice thing about being a Thuthuka program, being a part of the Tutuka program, is you kind of get preference in a way because those companies sponsor the Tutuka program. So us, when we apply, I think it's more of a direct application than if you're applying if you're not a Tutuka program. So when I applied as well, I was like, I want to be part of this company, and I'm going to apply to that company only. So I did do that, and then we had an interview. It was actually such a very nice interview. It wasn't like those normal interviews where it's like a panel and everything. I had a telephonic interview, and then the lady arranged for us to go have coffee. So it was very chill. It was a conversation. It was like get to know you kind of interview. Then after that, she was like, yeah, definitely you do fit in with the company culture. We would like you to do your articles at that company. And yeah, that's what I did. Then started articles at that company in Pretoria, and that was for 3 years. Very challenging years, I must say.
But I'm sure you learned a lot.
I learned a lot, and I learned a lot, but it was challenging, especially the long hours. You do work a lot, so sometimes I'd be like, is this what I really wanted? Is this it? Is this gonna be my life? But I'm glad I went through that. And a lot of what happens most of the time when you are a trainee or you are doing your articles is so depending on what client you are on, obviously you do get those very nasty clients. So you interact. So let's say, for example, we are auditing BMW, for example. You will be exposed to working with the financial manager of BMW, and sometimes what happens is they are actually qualified CAs most of the time. So they're like, what is this young person coming and disturbing my life in a way? So one of the challenges is interacting with clients, because you're like, okay, I'm a trainee, now I have to go speak to the CA who's experienced and all of that. So it's a bad thing and a good thing in terms of, as like I'll speak about the good first. You're building relationships. I know some people that now work for the clients that they worked for while they were doing their articles. So I think when you have those interactions, a lot of people, they build their relationships just as to build your social network, which is very important. You learn a lot of communication skills. You learn how to communicate with people. You learn how to interact with, and especially because it's different people, you learn that a lot. So it is challenging, honestly, for those articles, and it might seem like this is not what you wanted, and there might be times where you're like, let me just give up. Why am I even doing this? But you'll see once you've crossed that I want to say when you've crossed the other side to the CA side, you'll see that there are greener pastures and there is a life.
I wanted to talk about how you got to go to the United States, and we see you and we're like, yes, Talenta is actually gold.
So, a lot of the big four audit companies, a lot of times what they do is there is an opportunity for you to do secondments. But it's not like it's guaranteed that you will qualify to do a secondment. It's like a normal job interview where you have to apply. So with me, what happened when I was doing my articles, yes. So I think when I was a second year, and you apply when you're a third year, there were people that applied with third years and they didn't get the job. So I was of the thing that I'm not gonna put myself under a position where I have to get rejected. Another thing for me, I was like, I mean, why would you wanna go and audit in the United States? Because the way auditing is, sometimes you're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate it so much. And I was like, why would I wanna go do something that I hate in the United States? But then when I did my third year of articles, I was like, actually, maybe let me do it. And I've always been someone who loved traveling. I just didn't have an opportunity for that. So I was like, maybe this is my opportunity to actually travel. So I took the opportunity. So I applied for to go to the United States, and then I was fortunate to get the opportunity. Honestly speaking, initially I wanted to do the Europe, and then I wanted to then do the country hopping where I could go to the UK and all of that. So the thing was, that one was only for 3 months, and I really wanted to do 6 months. So I was fortunate enough to be able to do 6 months, and then I did the 6 months in the US. So it was nice. It was actually very nice. But then the thing that I realized was that things that back home we take for granted, like the things that I took for granted in South Africa, that when I was there, I was like, oh my gosh, like
things like what?
Things are different here. So in the US, although it looks like it's very, very like, it's up, like everything technology there is brilliant, but there are some things where they still, I don't know, like there's something. So I'm gonna give an example with my friend. So she forgot her PIN, so her card PIN, right? So we're trying to withdraw money, we couldn't remember the PIN. So what happened was we had to call Bank of America and be like, I forgot my PIN. I don't know my PIN. In SA, you'd go on the app, change your PIN. That's it. There's nothing, like, simple. Or if you have to call, I'm sure you will call your bank and they'll be able to change your PIN, right? They'll give you an option somehow. So with us, they were like, you can change your PIN. We'll send you your new PIN via mail. Not even email, via mail. They're like, we're gonna send your PIN via mail. We're like, okay, so how long is that gonna take? They're like, probably a week or two. And we're like, we need to use the money now. Like, they were like, there's nothing they can do. So for me, I was just like, so like it's something that happened in the US as well. And then another thing, I appreciated South African food. I didn't think I missed it so much.
But then isn't it in America, like their food portions are like bigger and stuff?
They are massive. I remember the one day when we went to McDonald's and we ordered like a medium meal. So their medium meal is like your extra large here in South Africa. They have a lot of big portions. Yeah, but the standard of living there is also it's a bit high.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, things are very expensive. And another thing is like when you're here in South Africa, like when you're from South Africa, for example, is you're gonna convert everything. So let's say I'm buying a Big Mac, and a Big Mac is probably like $10. Then I translate that, I'm like, that's about 150. So 150, I'm buying a Big Mac. Back in South Africa, I could have spent half of that. So yeah, that's another struggle that happens, is you convert things and then you're like, but this is expensive.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
That was nice.
Yeah, I'm sure like you did enjoy yourself. You mentioned coming back to South Africa and going back again. Can you just explain that again?
So I did my first secondment in Vegas. So that was from October 2019 to March 2020. Then what happened was we had lockdown, so I was unemployed for a month. So in April 2020 last year, I was just chilling. I was at home. I even quarantined. It was hard, but yeah, I was in quarantine. Then from there, I then joined the Green Dot again, and now in a different department. So I was no longer in audit. I was now part of audit evolution and enablement, which is not the same as audit and assurance. I was no longer part of that client-facing team. So I just want to give a little background of what I do, so that if there's any aspiring CAs, they must know that there's a lot of opportunities. Like there's a lot of things that you can do outside of being an audit. So I'm part of audit evolution and enablement. What we do is we provide a support to the audit and assurance. So give trainings, we facilitate trainings. We also look at ways how to improve on auditing. So as you know, we're now becoming more technological advanced. So what we do is we try bring that into audit. So we try bring tools to make sure that we are more efficient and more effective in our audits. So that's where the transformation of audit comes in, and that's the team that I'm part of. So anyway, then I joined them in May 2020 last year. So I stayed up until September. Then we got an opportunity actually to go back to the US. They're like, do you want to go back? Because what happened is, so with the secondment program, it's always allowed for your third years. So what happened last year, because of COVID, they couldn't apply for visas. Trump had set a rule that you cannot get a US visa if you are not from if you don't have a visa, there's no new visas which are going to be issued. If you actually do have a visa, you can actually come in. So that's where we actually came through, because we had the visas from the previous year. So we then applied, got the job. Then I did my second secondment. So the nice thing about my first secondment was I was in the east of the US, so in Vegas. So I was more like California side.
So you've been to Vegas?
San Francisco. I stayed in Vegas. I stayed in Vegas.
Is it, sorry, just one partner in a 1 minute? Like, is that what it has been portrayed to be on the internet and in movies and stuff?
Vegas is a desert. It's a dry place, and whoever came up with the Vegas idea, I see why they came up with that, because no one would want to go to Vegas, honestly, because it's a dry place, it's a desert, it's hot, and all of that. So whoever came up with the idea, they're like, let us create Vegas, let us create it as a nice, fun place to be. So the strip, the Las Vegas strip, it's like that is where that is where the party is. So if you're there, Las Vegas strip, that is where the party is. But other than that, outside of the strip is just a normal place like any other place. But by the strip, oh my gosh, it is amazing. I went clubbing once in Vegas last year I went 2 times actually clubbing. But the one time when I went last year in Jan, I was like, Oh my God. I was just shocked by the level of clubbing that is there in Vegas. But yeah, it is the place it's honestly the place to be, especially in summer or spring now. Like now it's beautiful. It's amazing. So I was explaining that initially when I did the first secondment, I was in the west, so I was in Vegas side, LA side, and all of that. Then the second time I was now in the east, so I was in the more colder side, so I was in New York side. I was actually in Stamford, which is about 45 minutes away from New York. So that was the nice thing, that I got to kind of experience the west of US and the east of US.
How is dating as a chartered accountant?
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Please look out for part 3 of my journey to greatness with Talenta. It's getting hot.